Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Macon Campbell and this is Making Stuff. So today I'm going to be restoring this not so old Giant Anthem, which is my cross-country bike. Now at first glance you might be thinking that this bike still looks amazing, and it does. But there are two really big issues with it. The first and most pressing is that there is a crack in the frame. I have managed to find someone who is qualified in welding aluminium, so that is a big positive. The second issue is the rear shock. On the last ride that I took with this bike, it somehow popped a seal and lost all its air. Now when I took the bike in to have the shock serviced and repaired, that is when they noticed the crack in my frame. So instead of fixing the shock, I went to go collect the bike, and it's been standing here at home ever since. I did try to go the warranty route, as Giant does have a lifetime warranty on their frames, but only for the first owner, which fortunately I am, but without a proof of payment, which I've obviously misplaced over the last 8 or 9 years. They simply can't help me. So the only choice I have is to either buy a new frame, which is going to cost more than what this bicycle cost me 8 years ago, or I'm going to have to repair this one. So I think I'm going to go with the latter. So basically this restoration isn't that much about aesthetics, because the bike still looks in great condition. The restoration is mainly repairs. Seeing as I'm going to have the frame welded, I may as well take that opportunity to respray it. And once that's done, I'll thoroughly clean and service all the parts that need it, and I'll reassemble it. So let's get started taking this thing apart. Okay, well, it's not perfectly clean just yet. I do see a lot of hand sanding for me in the future, but I think it's definitely clean enough to get this weld done up. I put in a little bit more effort cleaning up around this joint over here, as that's where it's going to be welded, and once that's finished, I'll worry about the rest of it. The nice thing is, now that it's cleaned off, the crack is a whole lot more visible and you can see exactly where it goes. I was pleased to see that there is a portion here at the bottom where the crack hasn't gone through yet. So let's get this thing welded up. Okay, so the frame is welded up and I think it looks really awesome. If you happen to be watching this, Pastern, thank you very much. I think you did an amazing job. The frame is currently being sandblasted. I'll probably go and pick that up later this afternoon. While I have some time to kill, I think it's a good idea to start moving through some of the parts that I have lying around here and clean whatever needs to be cleaned. So let's do it. Okay, so I just got the frame back from the sandblasters, and as you can probably tell, it looks amazing. I'm totally blown away at how awesome this sandblast finish looks. So much so that I've decided I'm going to keep it this finish, which means that I'm basically just going to cover it with a clear coat. Now, before I can do that, I'm going to have to wait for the stencils that I'm having cut so that I can spray the logos onto here before I apply the clear coat. Now, the guy that did the sandblasting also said that generally once you've done sandblasting, you should apply a finish as soon as possible because the bare aluminium can mark up very easily when handled. That is why I'm using gloves and paper towels to handle it. I told him that I'm probably only going to be able to spray the frame next week, so he recommended that I wrap the frame up in some sort of newspaper or something to keep it safe until then. So I'm going to do that now, put the frame off to the side, and we can unwrap it again as soon as we get to spraying. I was so blown away by how awesome the sandblasting left the finish, I totally forgot about the weld. But as you can see, the weld turned out really well. I'm very impressed with what Pastern did. I'm pretty sure that that joint is going to be a lot stronger than it was originally. So let's carry on. Okay, so it's Friday morning. There's not much else I can do right now. There are three things that I'm waiting for. The first thing is the shock that has to be serviced and repaired. The second thing is the stencils that I'm having cut. And lastly, I'm also waiting for bearings that are only coming on Monday, as I'm going to be replacing all the bearings for the linkages and the rear swing arm of the bike. So somewhere between yesterday and today, I got the idea that I'm going to be spraying a number of clear coats on the bike anyway. So I may as well get started on the clear coats. I was planning to spray the logos as the first layer, but the more I think about it, I don't really think that's necessary. I could very well just spray the first coat of clear, and then once it's dry, I can apply the stencils, spray the black, and put another 2 or 3 coats of clear on top of that. This way it's going to make it easier for me to handle the frame while I'm applying the stencils and also give it some protection. So I don't know much about spraying bare aluminium, but I have done a tiny bit of research online, and from what I can tell, it is a little bit controversial. So apparently aluminium needs a special aluminium primer, otherwise you run the risk of your paint peeling or chipping off. Now I'm hoping that because the frame has been sandblasted and it has a fairly rough finish already, I'm hoping that the spray paint that I've got is going to stick to it a little bit better. So this is what I'm going to be using. This is matte clear and this is matte black. This I'm going to be using for the logos, and this is what I'm going to be using for the rest. Now I did find on the internet that Rust-Oleum actually has an aluminium primer, but that is not something that is available in my town, and I'm definitely not going to order it online and wait for a month for it to get here. I'm not looking to make a showpiece here anyway. If this does come back to bite me in the ass, then I guess I'm just going to have to be redoing it at some later stage. So let me get the frame unwrapped and I will apply the first coat of clear. So I've got the first coat of clear down. As this matte paint is starting to dry, I'm really liking how the finish is looking. So I'm pretty damn excited to see what this is going to look like when it's done. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to wait a couple of days before I can carry on. But thankfully for you, with the magic of editing, you're only going to have to wait a second. There we go. So it's Wednesday morning now and it's taken a bit longer than I'd hoped, but here's what we have so far. We have the bearings and we have the stencils. The only thing I don't have right now is the rear shock, as the bike shop still hasn't gotten the seal kit in that they need to service it. So hopefully I'm going to get that tomorrow, but in the meantime I've still got a whole lot of things that I can do. First of which is applying the stencils so that I can get them sprayed, and then finish off with a couple more layers of clear coat. The only problem I have right now is that one of my stencils has a problem. You see, as a bit of a joke, I was planning on putting hashtag no warranty on the side of the frame, but it seems that the stencil that is supposed to say hashtag no warranty currently says hashtag no warranty. Now, quite ironically, these stickers do not have any warranty because the fault is all mine, as I supplied the artwork. But as I don't want to be waiting for another couple of days to have more stickers printed, I'm going to try my very best to make a stencil out of masking tape for the missing letter. So that's enough talking, let's do it. Okay guys, it's Friday morning now and I still haven't received the shock back. So I can't put the cranks in right now as they're going to get in the way of the lower mount of the shock. So I'm going to put together as much as I can, excluding the cranks, and hopefully I'll still get that shock back today so that I can put that in, put the cranks in, and we should be done. Okay guys, I'm not going to do too much talking because I know this video is pretty long already. One thing I have to say is I am over the moon with how this turned out. There's no way I could have expected that it was going to look as nice as what it does. I really like the way this bike looked in black, but I have to say this raw aluminium look just gives it that little bit extra. The contrast between the aluminium frame and the black text and all the black parts just makes it look really, really nice. From what I can tell from riding it up and down the street, mechanically she is just as sound as what she was before the frame broke. So in a nutshell, I'm stoked. Now I pretty much have a bicycle for every occasion. I have an old road bike that I use on my trainer upstairs. I now once again have my cross-country bike for those long days in the saddle, and I have my trail bike for when I'm just looking to go and have some fun. Now all I need to round out my collection is an enduro bike and a downhill bike. But I'm guessing that's not going to happen anytime soon. So once again, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments or suggestions, drop them in the comment section down below. And as always, till next time, keep making stuff.